Hey everybody, I'm Danger Gen Vex, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I was talking to a friend of mine about things that I wanted to do with the vlog and with the channel, and she suggested that I should play Will You Press the Button? Because it's a game that not only is it a game, which, I love games, as I've mentioned before, but at the same time, it also gives me the opportunity to talk about things. So that's actually what I'm going to be doing today. And I should probably say that I'm not just going to be rushing through these. If there's nothing to talk about, then I'll move on, press the button or not press the button and move on to the next one. But if there's something that I do want to say about one of the questions that I'm asked, one of the options that I'm given, I am probably going to spend, like a minute or so talking about it. And I hope it's fun and entertaining. And, before I get completely lost, let's just get straight into it. So right off the bat, I am given the option to win a fabulous mansion, but at the same time, it's haunted and the ghosts have one of my siblings captive. Which one? No, I'm kidding. Actually, I have two siblings. I have two brothers. They're both younger than I am. The youngest one is actually significantly younger than I am. I think it's because, a bit later on in life, my parents remember just how much they loved each other. But they forgot about, preventative measures, I think. No, I'm just kidding. But no, my mom started getting this lump in her abdomen, and at the time they were under the impression that she'd been sterilized, that she wouldn't have any more kids. So there was this big scare and they thought that she was going to have cancer. And there's actually an 11-year gap between me and my youngest brother. Anyway, so they thought it was cancer. And if I remember correctly, when they told my mum that she was pregnant with another kid, she cried for like a week. It was very unexpected. But he's our little family miracle, really. And I love him very dearly. My other brother, the middle brother, believe it or not, he's actually living in the house just outside. I'm the one living in like the little garden flatlet. He's the one living in the house with his wife and two kids. I am an aunt. I'm the eldest and I'm the aunt. But I still remember the very first time that I held him sitting. There's a 3-year gap between us, and I was sitting in a little plastic kid's chair, and they brought him out to me. And I held him in my arms and I just completely fell in love with him. So I really do love both my brothers. I don't think either of them really know how much. It's probably my fault. I should tell them how much I love them more. But in this position, as much as I would love a fabulous mansion, I've learned a thing or two in the past few months about family versus having things, and families are replaceable, absolutely irreplaceable. So there's no contest here. I will pass up the fabulous mansion and I will have my siblings safe and sound and with me. I will not. You will get successful in life, but everything you do with technology will fail. I think the answer to this one is pretty obvious. I love technology. In fact, at the beginning of the year, we had a bit of a problem. We have a problem with copper thieves. in South Africa and where I live. And they stole the copper cables, which meant that our internet went down. Obviously, no cables, no connection. And we don't exactly have the fastest services here. So the internet had gone down for 2 months. And I think I nearly lost my mind in those 2 months. If I didn't have at least my computer and some games to play in those 2 months, I think I would have just completely lost it. So I'm afraid I will not press this button. I can't. So 40% of people did actually press this button. And, well done for them. But I can't. I'm sorry, but I can't. So, if I press this button, I will become president, but I will have to kill 3/4 of my nation. Okay, this one is probably going to land me in a bit of hot water. I don't even know if I should answer this. Believe it or not, this is a tougher decision than you might think, because we have a bit of a problem in our country and the way that it's being run. And I don't think 3/4 or 3/4 of our nation deserve to die. But I would wager that there is that 1/4 is probably the ones that should just, rest in peace. Of course, then there's the flip side, and this is actually a topic that's come up a lot between my friends and myself, and that is whether or not I would ever, if I had the opportunity, if I would ever run for president. And I always said no, I wouldn't run for president, because I feel that if I were to get into a position of power like that in our country, I would end up something like a dictator. Funny enough, this is actually something that I wanted to talk about in a future vlog, so I'll give you just a little bit of a preview. And that is that if I were to become president, I would probably... Our country used to be extremely successful. I'm not saying that apartheid was right. Please don't get me wrong. Apartheid was very, very wrong. But the way that it's being corrected is messing our country up more than it's actually helping it. So would I become president and sacrifice 3/4 of my nation to do it? Hypothetically, yes, I'll press the button. Oh, I'm a horrible person, but yes, I would press the button. And I would probably become one of the worst political leaders in history for it, but there you go. Oh, I feel so bad now. Okay, so you can fly for any amount of time, but you are tragically afraid of heights. Believe it or not, this is me already. I would love to fly without an airplane or anything, just be able to run, jump, and soar into the air and fly. I've had dreams about doing it ever since I was a young girl, so I really, really enjoy flying. The problem is I am scared to death of heights. I mean, not my previous job, but the job before that, they had this very big open entry hall, and then they had a double staircase going up and then up again. But it was this very thin staircase and then just this big drop in the middle. And if I wanted to get to the roof section outside, right at the top, I would have to crawl up the last stairs on my knees and on my hands, because I wouldn't be able to do it standing up, since the drop is like, the staircase is like this wide. There's just enough space for you to walk up, and then there's this drop. And I couldn't do it. So, will I want this? Yes, I will press the button, because I already have both the desire to fly and the fear of heights. You can do anything you want, whenever you want, however you want, but your best friend gets jealous because you have it so easy. Actually, you know what? If your best friend gets jealous of you in that way, then that person's not your best friend. Your best friend isn't somebody that gets jealous of you or hates you best friends do have falling out. My best friend and I had fallings out before, so it happens. But that person isn't your friend. So if you're lucky enough to have something like that and your friend behaves that way, they're not your friend. So I will press the button because I wouldn't keep that friend around. That is not a real friend. Yeah, I thought so. A lot of people pressed the button. 83% of people agreed with me. So you will never have to pay for any medium such as TV, video games, books, etc. ever again. Big bonus. But all the works from mediums prior to 1990 are erased from history. When was... Okay, I had to think about that one for a second because I actually love a lot of old games and I just needed to check when some of my favorite old games were made. And I'm glad to say that all of them were made after 1990. Unfortunately, this also means that I'd be losing a lot of stuff like Star Trek, like the original series Star Trek, which is one of my favorites. And I'd be losing all of Asimov's work, which would be not only a tragedy for me, but for the entire world. And if you don't know who Isaac Asimov is, I pity you, go out and read something that he's written. So as tempting as this is, I would rather pay for it than lose some of the most amazing works of anything over 30 years old. I'm sorry. I will not press the button. Oh, it's very close. It's 46 that pressed it and 54 that didn't. Okay. You gain the ability to become anyone and anything you want after making contact with and absorbing a copy of their DNA and being able to combine the DNA of different people and animals. But if you shift for 2 hours or longer at a time, you are stuck in that form for the rest of your life. You'd probably have to be very, very careful, but even having that for a short time. Now, I'm not saying that because I'm unhappy with the way I look or the way that I am. I'm actually quite content. But to be able to become almost anything, even for a short while, you can become something that flies, or you can go deep sea diving, you can breathe underwater. I think I will press this button. I will. The abilities are, it's just cool. It's cool. So 73% of people have pressed the button. It's cool. It's worth it. Who wouldn't want that kind of power? World hunger will be no more, but only you will die of starvation. So basically this question is, am I selfless enough to sacrifice my life for the entire world? I think it would depend. As it currently stands, I don't want to save the world, to be perfectly honest. In fact, I think the world needs a serious kick in the pants. Now, it's not that I don't feel sorry for people who are suffering from world hunger, from starvation. I mean, I live in Africa, but to suddenly say, there will be no more world hunger. The world will find something else to make a problem. And in fact, they'll probably come up with some excuse to suddenly start killing people. to prevent overpopulation and that sort of thing, to make up for it. I don't know if what I'm saying is making any sense. The fact of the matter is, I don't know if the world is worthy of that kind of sacrifice. On the flip side, making that sacrifice could give the world an opportunity to change. Now, I'm sounding extremely full of myself, because why on earth would my life mean that much? But if you can imagine one person giving their life to end a problem like world hunger, maybe that could help the world become what it has the potential to become, rather than the steaming pile of horse dung it is at the moment. So the real question is, do I have faith that the world will become a better place for my sacrifice? I don't think it would. Honestly, I don't think it would. But I have to hope that it would. I have to hope that it would. And because of that, I'm going to press the button. "59% of people pressed the button and 41% of people didn't." I guess it's not too surprising. So I can have the power to teleport, but the opposite gender will only love you for up to 3 months. In other words, I can never have a lasting relationship. It's not much different from my life at the moment, is it? Would I accept that kind of power, but have to be, in a way, to be alone unless I'm with somebody from my own gender? And it's not that I mind being with somebody from my own gender, but what if the person that I end up wanting to spend the rest of my life with is a guy? And I do hope that it will happen someday. Yeah, no, I will not take power over love. Okay, maybe I do. I'm a bit of a romantic at heart. Who knew? So, no, I will not press the button. Okay, let's do a last one. So, okay, last one. Then that would be all the time that I have for this video. But let's see. You have the ability to create anything by just thinking of it, but you can only have it for a day before it disappears. I don't know. I mean, like what? Would I have to wake up every morning and think a bunch of new things? For example, if I want to have a big mansion, I'd have to think of that mansion every day to bring it into reality. But if I just have to think of it, I can literally just wake up and think of it, and it will be there. So it would be a repetitive exercise if you actually want to keep something. It's not a very thoughtful question. This is really just, would you want to have that kind of fun or not? And here's the thing though. What if, is this just your conscious thought or subconscious thought as well? Because if I can create things just by thinking about it, and I end up, thinking about something really, really horrible, like in a moment of anger, or I'm wondering what would happen if there's a giant earthquake somewhere in the world and it would happen. I mean, do I control when it happens, or does it just happen? Oh dear. That is a troubling thought. You know what? I'm gonna leave this here, and I want you guys to answer this one. Think about it. If you had to do it, but answer it if you didn't have a choice. So good or bad, whatever you thought about, that is what would happen. And I want to see what you guys have to say about that. I think I'm going to leave this video here. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Remember to leave your answers in the comments. And I will see you next time. Bye.